this video is about. She refused to eat dinner until her father made a dish that miraculously worked. If this story touches your heart, please like the video and share your thoughts in comments. The late afternoon sun poured its amber light through the window, slanting across the worn oak table where Mia sat, arms crossed defiantly. The kitchen, with its familiar sense of garlic and herbs, felt foreign to her today. She had watched her father, Oliver, chop vegetables with a deliberate precision that mirrored his meticulous nature. The rhythmic sound of the knife against the cutting board filled the air, punctuated by the occasional clatter of pots and pans. Yet despite this comforting routine, Mia was unmoved. "I'm not hungry, Dad," she mumbled, her voice barely breaking the silence that enveloped them. She turned her gaze to the window, watching the shadows of the trees dance in the breeze, as if trying to escape the gravity of her current mood. "Mia, you need to eat something," Oliver said gently, setting down the knife and wiping his hands on a dish towel. His brow furrowed as he approached her, concern etched across his face. "You can't skip dinner again. It's not good for you." She felt a familiar surge of frustration bubbling inside her, the kind that she had been battling for weeks. It was as if there was a thin veil between her and the world, and every attempt to pierce it only left her feeling more isolated. "I said I'm not hungry," she repeated, her tone sharper this time, a defense against the tidal wave of emotions threatening to crash over her. Oliver paused, taking a breath to steady himself. He had never been good at confrontation, especially with Mia. She was his only daughter, a bright spark in his otherwise mundane existence, and seeing her retreat into her shell was like watching a flower wilt in slow motion. "We made your favorite dish tonight. You remember how much you loved the ratatouille." Mia's heart softened a little at the mention of ratatouille, a dish that held memories of laughter and summer evenings spent in the kitchen. She remembered the way her father had taught her to layer the vegetables just right, how they would sizzle in the pan, releasing their mingled fragrances, the vibrant colors painting a picture of warmth and family. But now, those memories felt like a double-edged sword. They reminded her of a time when she wasn't so burdened by the weight of her own thoughts. "Yeah, I remember, but I'm not in the mood for it," she replied, her gaze fixed on the window again. She could feel his disappointment like a heavy fog settling around them, suffocating. "Just give it a try for me." Oliver's voice was softer now, almost pleading. He stepped back, giving her space, unsure of how to bridge the widening gap between them. "I'll even add some extra herbs just like you like them." A tight knot formed in her stomach at his words. It wasn't just about the food. It was about everything that had been unspoken. The tension from the past few months loomed like a thundercloud, threatening to unleash a storm. Mia was caught in a whirlwind of her emotions, grappling with a sense of disillusionment that had seeped into her life like a slow, creeping vine. "Dad, it's not just about the food," she finally said, breaking the silence that hung heavy between them. "Can't you see that?" The anger in her voice surprised even her, but there it was, the rawness of her frustration spilling out. He looked at her, his blue eyes reflecting a confusion that mirrored her own. "Then what is it about? Talk to me, Mia, please." Mia hesitated, the walls she had built around her heart rising up in defense. She felt a flicker of guilt for lashing out. He was trying, but how could she explain the tempest she felt inside? At 17, she was supposed to be finding herself, not losing her way in a maze of expectations and insecurities. "I don't know, Dad. I just feel lost." Oliver's expression softened further, and for a moment she saw the traces of the man who had taught her how to ride a bike, who had held her hand during her first day of school. "I get that. I really do. It's okay to feel lost sometimes, but I'm here for you. You don't have to go through this alone." Mia felt the walls begin to crack, the vulnerability of her feelings pushing against the fortress she had so carefully constructed. "It's just, school is overwhelming, and I feel like I'm falling behind. Everyone seems to have their lives figured out except for me." "Oh, honey, you're not alone in that," he said, offering her a small smile. "Trust me, everyone feels that way at some point. You're still figuring things out, and that's okay. You don't have to have all the answers right now." "I wish I could believe that," she murmured, staring down at her hands, the calluses from her guitar strings reminding her of the joys she once found in music, which now felt like a distant memory. "Why don't we make a deal?" he suggested, trying to lighten the mood slightly. "You give the ratatouille a chance, and if you still do like it, I'll make you your favorite grilled cheese tomorrow for lunch." A small laugh escaped her lips, the image of her father in the kitchen, cheese melting and butter sizzling in the pan, tugged at her heart. "You really think I'm going to hold you to that?" "Well, it's worth a shot, right?" he replied, a playful glint returning to his eyes. "Besides, I could use a taste tester for my culinary experiments." Mia finally cracked a smile, the corner of her mouth lifting reluctantly. "Fine, but you're not getting my hopes up. Just give it a chance, all right." He leaned down, pressing a kiss on her forehead before returning to the stove, the warmth of his affection lingering like the aroma of dinner wafting through the air. As she watched him stir the pot, Mia felt an unexpected tug at her heart, a feeling that perhaps, just maybe, they could bridge this gap together. Maybe if she took a bite of the ratatouille, she could also take a bite of the comfort she had been denying herself. When the dish was finally served, its vibrant colors and enticing scent filled the room, mingling with the remnants of their conversation. Oliver placed a steaming bowl in front of her, a look of cautious hope on his face. "Here we go. Just a little taste, and if you don't like it, we'll call it a night." Mia hesitated, her fork hovering above the dish, the steam rising like a fleeting memory. She could feel her heart racing. What if she didn't like it? What if they couldn't find their way back to each other? But as she glanced up at her father, she saw the sincerity in his eyes, the desire to connect, to mend the rift that had appeared between them. With a deep breath, she pierced a piece of eggplant and lifted it to her lips. The flavors exploded in her mouth, an unexpected harmony of spices and love that brought a rush of nostalgia. In that moment, reality fell away, and for the first time in months, Mia felt a flicker of warmth ignite within her. "Okay," she said slowly, breaking the silence that followed her first bite. "This is actually really good." Her voice was tentative but genuine, a whisper of hope that danced between them. Oliver's face lit up, a smile breaking through the tension. "See, I told you it would be worth it," he exclaimed, his joy palpable. "And tomorrow, grilled cheese it is." Mia chuckled, a sound that felt foreign yet refreshing in her throat. The walls that had separated them began to crumble, the shared laughter filling the cracks with a sense of renewed connection. As they settled into the meal, the conversation flowed freely, laughter and stories intertwining like the ingredients in the dish before them. In that moment, with the sun sinking lower and the shadows stretching longer outside their window, Mia realized that sometimes it took a little push, a little taste of something familiar to rekindle the connection that mattered most. And as her father shared stories of his own teenage mishaps, she felt a warmth expand within her, a quiet reassurance that she was never truly alone in her journey. The following evening, the golden hues of sunset painted the sky outside as Mia peered out of her window, her thoughts swirling like the clouds shifting above. She had eaten dinner with her father, a simple act that had felt monumental in the wake of the recent weeks. But the initial brightness, that warmth ignited by shared laughter over ratatouille, felt dimmer now, overshadowed by the uncertainties that still loomed in her heart. Mia's mind replayed the evening, Her father's smile as she took that first bite, the almost reverent way he watched her as if she were a delicate flower poised to bloom. In that moment she had felt seen, cherished even. But now that feeling was like a flickering candle in a drafty room, flickering low, fighting to stay alive. With a sigh, she turned away from the window and picked up her guitar, the instrument resting in her lap like an old friend. She strummed a few chords absent-mindedly, letting the familiar notes wash over her, seeking solace in the rhythm that had once felt like second nature. But tonight it was different. The strings felt foreign beneath her fingers, and the melodies felt muddled. "Hey, how's the music coming?" Oliver's voice broke through the silence, warm and inviting as he stepped into the room, a plate stacked high with freshly made grilled cheese sandwiches in his hands. Mia looked up, momentarily startled, and then smiled awkwardly. "It's okay, I guess. Just trying to figure things out." She gestured to the guitar, unsure of how to articulate the knot of emotions tangled in her chest. "Mind if I join you?" Oliver asked, lowering himself onto the edge of her bed, the plate resting on his lap. "I've been working on a new recipe for the sandwiches. I used a mix of cheddar and Gouda this time." Mia chuckled softly at the way he seemed to take pride in his culinary experiments, even when it came to something as simple as grilled cheese. "You're really going all out, huh?" "Only the best for my favorite taste tester," he grinned, his blue eyes sparkling with mischief. As she took a sandwich from his plate, she felt the warmth radiate from the toasted bread. The gooey cheese stretched as she pulled it apart, and she couldn't help but feel a flicker of excitement. It felt good to enjoy something simple, a reminder that life could still hold joy amidst the chaos. "All right, let's see if you've made a masterpiece," she said, taking a bite. The flavors burst in her mouth, rich and comforting, and she found herself smiling again. "Wow, Dad, this is amazing. I think you've outdone yourself." Oliver laughed, leaning back against the wall, his expression one of satisfaction. "I knew I had it in me. We might need to open a restaurant at this rate." "Only if you promise to wear a ridiculous chef hat," Mia teased, her heart lightening as they settled into a comfortable rhythm, the banter flowing easily between them. After she finished the sandwich, Oliver took a deep breath, his expression shifting as he leaned forward, elbows resting on his knees. "So, I've been thinking. I want to help you, Mia. If you're feeling overwhelmed with school or anything else, I'm here. You don't have to shoulder it alone." The sincerity in his voice struck a chord within her, and she felt the weight of her defenses begin to lessen. "It's just hard, Dad. I feel like I'm constantly comparing myself to everyone else. They all seem so much better at things than I am." "Comparison can be a thief of joy," he said softly, his gaze unwavering. "I think everyone struggles with that, even adults. It's easy to see only the surface of other people's lives and forget that everyone has their own battles." I know, Mia replied, pulling her knees to her chest as she leaned back against the wall. "But sometimes it feels like I'm the only one who doesn't have it figured out. I mean, my friends are talking about colleges and careers, and I'm just here, playing guitar and trying not to fail my classes." "Have you talked to them about how you feel?" Oliver asked gently. "No," she admitted, a frown creasing her forehead. "I don't want to bring it up. It'll just sound like I'm complaining." "Mia, it's not complaining to express how you feel," Oliver said, his voice firm yet kind. "You have every right to feel the way you do, and if your friends are true friends, they'll support you. Sometimes sharing our struggles can bridge the gap and help us feel less isolated." She considered his words, the truth in them resonating deep within her. "But what if they don't understand? What if they think I'm just being dramatic? Then they wouldn't be the friends I believe you deserve," he replied, his tone unwavering. "You're brave for facing your challenges, Mia. I know it seems daunting, but opening up can be the first step toward finding clarity." Mia chewed on his words, the wisdom in them settling around her like a soothing balm. I guess I just don't want to be a burden. Sweetheart, we all need support at times. It's not a burden, it's part of being human. I promise you I'm here for you no matter what. His words wrapped around her like a warm embrace, and she felt the walls of fear and doubt begin to crumble further. Thanks, Dad. I really appreciate you being here. I know I haven't made it easy. It's never easy to connect when you're feeling lost, but you've already taken a huge step just by talking with me, he said, a proud smile gracing his lips. And remember, it's okay to take your time to find your way. You're still discovering who you are, and that's a beautiful journey. Mia looked down at her guitar, suddenly aware of the emptiness of the room. I used to love playing music. It used to make me feel alive. Then let's bring that back. How about you play something for me? Oliver suggested, his enthusiasm palpable. We could make it a little family concert, just like old times. Family concert, huh? She chuckled, feeling the corners of her lips lift slightly. The thought was comforting, a thread of familiarity woven into the fabric of their relationship. Absolutely, just you, me, and the world's greatest grilled cheese. What more could we need? He grinned, encouraging her with a playful nudge. Feeling a surge of determination, Mia took a deep breath and began to strum a few chords she had been working on, letting the music flow from her fingertips. She was hesitant at first, the notes feeling stiff and uncertain, but as she found her rhythm, the familiar warmth flooded back, sparking a flame inside her. Oliver watched her, a proud smile gracing his face as she played. The melody filled the room, wrapping around them like a cherished memory, a moment of connection that transcended the worries of the outside world. When she finished, Mia looked up at her father, his eyes shining with admiration. That was beautiful, Mia. You have such a gift. Thanks, Dad, she said, her heart swelling with gratitude. I think I forgot how much I loved it. Don't forget it again, he replied, his voice steady and filled with affection. Music is a part of who you are, and it has the power to heal. Lean into it. Let it guide you. With those words lingering in the air, Mia felt a shift within her, the heaviness of her worries beginning to lift. Maybe she didn't have to have everything figured out right now. Maybe the journey itself, navigating the struggles, feeling lost, finding connection, was where the real beauty lay. As they sat together, talking and laughing, the shadows of the room faded away, replaced by the glowing warmth of a father and daughter rediscovering each other. In that moment, Mia realized that the connections they had forged, the moments of vulnerability and reassurance, were stronger than any challenges she faced. And for the first time in a long while, she felt hopeful that she could find her way back to herself, one note at a time. Mia woke the next morning to the soft chirping of birds outside her window, the golden light of dawn spilling into her room like a gentle embrace. She felt a lingering warmth from last night's conversations, the afterglow of laughter and music still wrapping around her heart. For the first time in a while, she felt lighter. She stretched her arms above her head, allowing her body to awaken fully as she thought about the day ahead. Sliding out of bed, she made her way to the bathroom where she caught her reflection in the mirror. The bags under her eyes had softened, and for once, a small smile crept onto her lips. She was still navigating the storm of emotions that had clouded her mind, but the flicker of hope, ignited by her father's support, felt like a guiding light. After a quick shower, Mia dressed in a simple oversized sweatshirt and jeans, her attire reflecting her desire for comfort over style. As she made her way down the stairs, she could smell the familiar scent of coffee brewing in the kitchen, mingling with the mouth-watering aroma of something sizzling on the stove. "Good morning, superstar," Oliver called out cheerfully from the kitchen, his hair a tousled mess as he flipped something in a pan. "Hey, Dad." Mia's voice was still thick with sleep, but a smile broke through as she stepped into the warmth of the kitchen. The morning sun streamed through the window, illuminating the space with a cozy glow. "I hope you're ready for the most important meal of the day," he said, gesturing to the counter where a spread of pancakes, fresh fruit, and maple syrup awaited. "I wanted to celebrate our little concert last night." Mia chuckled, her heart warming at the sight. "This looks amazing. Are you sure you didn't accidentally turn into a breakfast chef overnight?" "Maybe I'm just full of surprises," Oliver replied, a wink punctuating his words. "Now grab a plate and dig in." As she filled her plate, Mia felt a sense of normalcy wash over her, a powerful antidote to the chaos that had dominated her life lately. She sat down at the table, her father joining her with a steaming mug of coffee. "So how do you feel about today?" he asked, taking a sip of his own drink. "Any plans beyond conquering the breakfast table?" Mia hesitated, the weight of the day creeping back into her chest. "I was thinking of heading to the park to practice a bit more on my guitar. I don't know, maybe even try writing a new song." "That sounds like a great idea," Oliver encouraged, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "You should definitely take advantage of the warm weather, and I'd love to hear what you come up with later." "Yeah, I hope it goes well," Mia said, her excitement tempered by a flicker of anxiety. "What if I can't come up with anything?" "Then you can just enjoy playing for the sake of it," Oliver said, his tone reassuring. "Music is about expression, not always about perfection. Just let the creativity flow." Mia nodded, taking a moment to chew on her father's wisdom. She could feel her heart begin to swell with possibility, the fear of failure slowly ebbing away. "You're right. Sometimes I put too much pressure on myself. Trust me, I get it. It's easy to do. But remember, you're allowed to have fun with it," he said, a nostalgic smile crossing his lips. "It's like when I first started cooking. I burned my fair share of meals before I figured it out." Mia laughed, her spirit lifting with the lightheartedness of the moment. "I still have nightmares about your famous burnt toast." "Oh, that was a learning experience for sure." Oliver chuckled, his eyes twinkling with memories. "But look at me now. I'm practically a culinary genius." "More like a culinary risk-taker," Mia teased, her laughter echoing in the kitchen. After breakfast, Mia washed her plate and grabbed her guitar, its familiar weight comforting against her chest. She felt a surge of determination as she stepped outside, the sun warming her skin. The park was only a few blocks away, and as she walked, she listened to the sounds of nature surrounding her. The gentle rustling of leaves, the distant laughter of children playing, and the rhythmic cadence of her footsteps. When she arrived at the park, the open space greeted her like an old friend. She found a quiet bench nestled under a sprawling oak tree, its branches providing a canopy of shade. Plopping down, she opened her guitar case, the cool wood feeling familiar in her hands. As she began to strum, the first notes floated into the air, a soft melody that echoed the warmth in her heart. She closed her eyes, letting the music guide her, feeling the tension in her shoulders ease with every chord. The sun danced through the leaves above, casting dappled patterns on the ground. Mia recalled the conversation she had with her father, the way his words had resonated within her. She started weaving lyrics together, letting her thoughts spill out through the strings. The song began to take shape, echoing the journey she had been on, one of confusion, connection, and discovery. Lost in her music, she didn't notice the figure approaching until he spoke. "Wow, that sounds incredible." Mia opened her eyes to see a boy about her age standing a few feet away, a warm smile on his face. He had tousled brown hair and bright green eyes that sparkled with genuine interest. "I didn't mean to interrupt, but I could hear you from over there," he said, gesturing toward a nearby walking path. "Thanks," Mia said, feeling a blush creep up her cheeks. I'm still working on it, so it's not quite finished. Really? It sounds great already, he said, taking a few steps closer. I'm Jake, by the way. Mia, she replied, a mix of shyness and curiosity bubbling within her. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, he said, his enthusiasm warm and inviting. Do you play often? You have a really nice sound. Thanks, I used to play a lot, but it's been a while, she admitted, feeling the weight of her earlier struggles settle back in. I'm trying to get back into it. I get that, Jake said, settling onto the edge of the bench beside her. I used to feel the same way about skating. It's tough to keep doing something when you feel like you're not improving. Exactly, Mia replied, her heart racing a little. It was refreshing to share her thoughts with someone who seemed to understand. But I think I'm starting to find my way again. Hey, that's great. It's all about enjoying the process, right? Jake said, his eyes lighting up with encouragement. Wanna play something together? Mia blinked, surprised at the suggestion. Together, really? Yeah, I mean, if you're up for it. I play a little guitar too, he said, pulling a small instrument from his bag. I'd love to jam. Sure, that could be fun, she said, feeling a flutter of excitement. What do you want to play? How about I follow your lead? You can start with something you've got, and I'll see if I can keep up, Jake suggested with a grin. Mia hesitated for a moment, suddenly feeling the weight of her insecurities creeping back in. But then she remembered her father's words about letting go of perfection and just playing for the joy of it. She took a deep breath and nodded, feeling a wave of determination wash over her. With renewed energy, she began strumming her song again, Jake picking up the melody on his guitar. Their notes intertwined in a way that felt surprisingly natural, the music wrapping around them like a comforting blanket. As they played, Mia felt the tension of the past few weeks begin to melt away, replaced by a sense of freedom and connection. See, this is what it's all about, Jake exclaimed after they finished, his face alight with excitement. You've got a real gift. Thanks, that was really fun, Mia said, her heart soaring. I didn't expect to meet someone and play like this today. Same here, Jake replied, his smile infectious. It's nice to have someone to jam with. You know, we should do this more often. Definitely, Mia said, feeling a warmth spread through her. The connection felt easy and genuine, something she hadn't realized she had been craving. Do you come to this park often? Yeah, I do. It's my favorite place to unwind, he said with a shrug. I'm usually here practicing or skating on the path over there. He gestured toward a nearby area where a group of skaters were practicing tricks, their laughter mingling with the sound of the wheels on concrete. As they chatted, the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the park. Mia felt a mix of excitement and trepidation at the budding friendship blossoming before her. It was comforting to have someone who enjoyed music as much as she did, someone who seemed to understand the beauty of creativity and expression. I know this might sound strange, but do you want to form a little band? Jake asked, his eyes sparkling with mischief. We could do some open mics or... Mia's heart raced at the unexpected proposal. A band. The idea danced tantalizingly in the air between them, like the soft notes they had just played. She had never considered joining a band, let alone with someone she had just met. But there was something about Jake's enthusiasm, the way his green eyes sparkled with excitement, that made her want to embrace the possibility. Really? A band? She echoed, trying to keep the surprise from coloring her voice. The thought felt both thrilling and daunting, a mix of eagerness and the familiar stirrings of self-doubt. I mean, that sounds cool, but I don't know if I'm good enough to be in a band. I haven't played with anyone in ages. Are you kidding? You were incredible just now, Jake exclaimed, leaning forward with genuine enthusiasm. It's not about being good enough, it's about having fun and creating something together. Plus, I think we could come up with some pretty great stuff. What do you say? Mia bit her lip, contemplating his words. The idea of playing music with someone else, of sharing the creative process, felt like a warm light breaking through the clouds of uncertainty that had shrouded her for so long. Okay, yeah. Let's do it, she said, her voice more confident than she felt. Awesome, he replied, a wide smile spreading across his face. Let's meet here again tomorrow and see what we can come up with. I'm really excited about this. Me too, Mia said, a thrill of possibility coursing through her. The thought of collaborating, of diving deeper into her passion for music with someone by her side, felt exhilarating. What kind of music do you like to play? I'm into a lot of stuff, rock, indie, even some folk. I love mixing genres and seeing what happens. What about you? He asked, plucking a few strings absent-mindedly, as if testing the range of his own instrument. I guess I'm more into singer-songwriter stuff, she said, her confidence growing. I love writing lyrics and expressing emotions through my music. It helps me process everything. Well, then it'll be perfect. We can blend our styles and see what we come up with together, Jake said, his enthusiasm infectious. I'll bring my notebook tomorrow and we can brainstorm some ideas. As they continued to talk, Mia felt the weight of her earlier insecurities begin to lift, replaced by a sense of camaraderie and excitement. It was refreshing to connect with someone who shared her passion and understood her journey. The warmth of his laughter and the easy flow of their conversation felt like a balm to her soul. Eventually, as the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the park, they decided to call it a day. They exchanged numbers, promising to keep in touch as they each headed back home. As Mia walked away, a soft smile lingered on her lips, the prospect of forming a band with Jake igniting a spark within her that she hadn't felt in a long time. The next day, Mia awoke with a sense of anticipation bubbling in her chest. She could hardly focus on breakfast, her thoughts racing with the possibilities of what her first jam session with Jake would be like. Would they click as musicians? Would sharing her music with him expose her vulnerabilities, or would it strengthen her confidence further? After an uneventful day at school, she found herself counting down the minutes until she could return to the park. Finally, as the sun began to set, she made her way there, her guitar slung over her shoulder like a trusted companion. When she arrived, Jake was already there, seated on the bench with his guitar in hand and a notepad resting on his lap. His face lit up when he saw her. "Hey, Mia, I've been thinking about some ideas we could work on. I jotted down a few lyrics and some chord progressions," he said, waving the notepad excitedly. "Wow, you're not wasting any time, huh?" she replied, her heart fluttering at the sight of his eagerness. "Let's hear what you've got." Jake shifted to make space for her on the bench as she settled beside him. He cleared his throat, a playful grin on his face before reading aloud. "Okay, so here's a chorus I came up with. We're wandering through the night, shadows dancing in the light, chasing dreams that feel so far, under the same shining star." Mia felt a rush of inspiration wash over her as he spoke the words. The imagery resonated with her, conjuring feelings she had directly experienced in her own life. "I love it. It's so relatable," she said, her thoughts racing. "The idea of searching for something, feeling lost but still hoping. It's perfect." "Thanks, I thought it might reflect what we've both been feeling lately," Jake said, beaming with pride. "I have some chord progressions that go with it too. Want to give it a try?" "Absolutely," Mia replied, feeling an eager flutter in her stomach. They began to play together, weaving the melody and lyrics into something magical, something that felt uniquely theirs. As they played, Mia lost herself in the music. The notes flowed effortlessly between them, the connection deepening with each chord. She felt free, liberated from the shackles of insecurity that had held her back for so long. The shared experience of creating something beautiful ignited her spirit, and she knew she was exactly where she was meant to be. When they finished the chorus, both of them were breathing heavily, grinning at each other with unrestrained enthusiasm. "That was amazing," Jake exclaimed, his eyes sparkling. "I can't believe how well that came together." "Right, it felt so natural," Mia agreed, her heart swelling with joy. "I didn't expect it to come together so quickly." "Well, sometimes the best things happen when you're just being yourselves," Jake said, his tone sincere. "I feel like we have something special here." As they settled into a rhythm, experimenting with melodies and lyrics, time seemed to slip away. Mia lost track of the world around them, caught in the moment, buoyed by the power of their collaboration. Each strum of the guitar felt like a brushstroke on the canvas of their newfound friendship, vibrant and full of promise. Hours later, the sun had dipped below the horizon, leaving behind a soft twilight glow. Mia and Jake paused, out of breath and exhilarated. "We should probably wrap it up for the night," Jake said, glancing at his watch. "Yeah," Mia replied reluctantly, not wanting the magic to end. "But this was incredible. I can't wait to do it again." "Same here, let's plan for tomorrow again, same time, same place," he suggested, a hopeful glint in his eyes. "Definitely," she agreed, her heart fluttering with anticipation. "I'll bring more ideas too." As they packed their things, Mia realized that what had begun as a hesitant step into the unknown had transformed into something beautiful. A friendship built on music, creativity, and shared experiences. It felt like a turning point, a moment she would look back on with fondness as she continued to navigate her journey. Before they parted ways, Jake turned to her, a serious look in his eyes. "Hey, Mia. Yeah, I just want you to know, I'm really glad we met. You're an amazing musician, and I can't wait to see what we create together." Her heart swelled at his words, the sincerity in his tone wrapping around her like a warm embrace. "Thanks, Jake. That means a lot to me. I'm really glad we met too." As they exchanged goodbyes, Mia walked home with a lighter heart, the weight of her earlier uncertainties replaced by the thrill of possibility. She felt the flicker of hope reigniting within her, and for the first time in a long while, she felt like she was on the right path, one that was colorful and vibrant and full of music. In the days that followed, Mia and Jake continued to meet at the park, their bond growing stronger with each jam session. They shared laughs, ideas, and the occasional awkward moment, but they always returned to the music, which became the foundation of their friendship. As they wrote songs together, exploring new styles and experimenting with melodies, Mia felt her confidence blossom, and the fear that had once held her back began to dissipate. With Jake by her side, she discovered not only a passion for music, but also a deeper understanding of herself. She learned to embrace her vulnerabilities and express her feelings through her art. With each song they created, Mia felt a little more connected to the world around her, no longer lost, but rather on a journey of discovery with someone who understood her. One evening, as the sky turned shades of pink and orange, Mia stood at the park with her guitar, waiting for Jake to arrive. She looked around, feeling grateful for the beauty of the moment. The sun cast a warm glow over everything, and the sounds of laughter and music filled the air. She took a deep breath, letting it wash over her like a wave of serenity. When Jake arrived, he was breathless with excitement. "Mia, I just got a call from a friend who runs an open mic night at a coffee shop nearby. He said we could perform. What do you think?" Her heart raced at the thought of performing in front of an audience.